Good evening and happy Saturday. A little bit of a special stream tonight. Good evening and happy Saturday. A little bit of a. Okay, maybe not that special. Today's actually just a preview stream. As many of you know, May 4th is celebrated as Star Wars Day because May the 4th be with you. And that's coming up not this week, but next week. And I've got a lot of content planned for my channel that week. I think I've planned to stream like every day except one. I've come up with several different programs. I have two big Lego streams, which will be the weekend before and the weekend after, and then I have content planned for pretty much all week. So it'll be cool to get those It'll be cool to do those Star Wars streams. That really will be a variety week because we're only doing the two big Lego streams on the weekends, and the week itself will be other content that I've been teasing for a long time since the move. I know we've only done one non-Lego stream so far since the move, but we'll get there. I don't have enough Star Wars sets to carry me for a whole week, so we're going to do the two big Lego Star Wars streams on the weekends and other content for the week itself. Unfortunately, even though it's celebrated all around the world, my area doesn't really do a lot for Star Wars week, so I'll be free like every night except Friday when I go to Temple, of course, so we probably won't be streaming that night. But I have programs planned for Monday through Thursday that week. We'll see if I can do them all. But for tonight, I want to preview the Star Wars Week festivities by building my first Lego Star Wars ship in the new house. I've done a lot of Lego sets since the move, as you have seen on this channel already so far this year. And I've also done several big builds off camera. But I haven't done any Lego Star Wars in the new house yet, so here we are. Of course, Lego Star Trek was the first Lego builds I did in the new house, but that was off camera. I did the Star Trek Enterprise, the big Enterprise set off camera. One of the highlights of my collection now, but I did it off camera because it was a multi-day build. But this will be, even though Star Trek got the honor of being the first set in the new house, Star Wars I've been neglecting while doing other things. So let's go to the camera. Tonight I have the Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator. This is my... Oh, sorry, I bumped the table a little bit, but this will be my Star Wars Week preview. This will be my first Lego ship that I build in the new house. I've built, as you'll recall on the channel, throughout last year, I did build quite a few Star Wars ships. I have the Dark Falcon, the Onyx Cinder, a couple of other really notable ships that I have in my Lego Star Wars fleet. But this will be the first one in the new house, being built in the new house. So Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator is kind of an interesting history. It's kind of a Lego ship. And by that I mean it's in the canon, but it doesn't have a lot of screen time. When Lego started doing Star Wars sets in 1999, it was to coincide with the release of Episode 1. And so the original 1999 wave of sets was split in half. Half the sets were based on the original trilogy, and half the sets were based on the new Episode 1 stuff, including the Sith Infiltrator. The Sith Infiltrator itself The Sith Infiltrator itself only had about 10 seconds of screen time in the movie. You see it flying to Tatooine. That's about it. It's on screen for about 10 seconds. When you see Maul again later in Clone Wars and Rebels, at that point in the timeline, Sidious had abandoned Maul and blown up the ship. So when you see Maul later on in Clone Wars and Rebels, he's using other ships. So this ship itself, the Sith Infiltrator, is only got about 10 seconds of total screen time. It's also one of the more uniquely designed ships. It's got a classic evil Sith look to it. Even though it's evil and Sith, it's one of the more aesthetically pleasing ships in my opinion. Well designed. It mixes curves and straight edges well, which a lot of ships in Star Wars, you either see curvy ships and then you see straight ships, and you kind of don't see ships that do both. And this ship combines the two aesthetics in a really nice way. It's a unique ship in the canon in both what it does, its abilities, what it's capable of, and also in its design. And Lego keeps coming back to it. This is the fourth or fifth, I'm not exactly sure, play version they've done of the Darth Maul ship. This is also the 25 years of Lego Star Wars, the anniversary set, and it's one of 7 sets they released in 2024 that comes with one of the exclusive anniversary figures. There's 7 of the anniversary figures, and 6 of the 7 sets that contain them are retired now. So I was lucky to win this in an auction at right around retail price. Although this set hasn't seen much inflation yet. Some of the other anniversary sets have started to inflate. But I've been talking a lot. Said this is a cool ship, and I want to see it get built. So let's go ahead and get into it. I will set my spare bits bowl aside until I need it. Well, it's off screen. I always do the spare bits bowl off screen. So here's a close-up of the front of the box. You can see the included figures are Darth Maul, some of his probe droids, Qui-Gon Jinn, Kid Anakin Skywalker. So this is from that scene on Tatooine in Episode 1. And, of course, the Saw Gerrera anniversary fig. Here's the back of the box. It shows the back of the ship. So I see. So this box is taking a cue from Speed Champions. It looks like, showing the back of the ship. Looks like there's launching missiles, and you can launch bombs and probe droids. It looks like Darth Maul comes with his speeder as well. So there's the back of the box. Now the presence of Qui-Gon and Kid Anakin shows that this is meant to represent the scene on Tatooine where Darth Maul is chasing them out of the village towards the Queen ship. The Queen, in the entire 25-year history of Lego Star Wars, 27-year history now, they have never made the Queen ship, even though it's so iconic to Episode 1, and probably the most iconic ship in that movie, other than the N1 Starfighters. But here it is, the Sith Infiltrator, front of the box one more time, which you can look at while I push these tabs in. And let's see what we've got going on inside here. So the box is open. Let's see how many bags. We do have a bag 6. That's bag 4. 5. So we go up to bag 7, it looks like. So here's bag 1. Very tiny little bag there. So this is doing what a lot of other Lego sets have been doing recently, which is giving you a little taste in bag 1 and then starting the main build in bag 2. It looks like this is going to be Maul and his speeder, and you can also see the separator in there. And I need to check real quick. I do not remember if this set is supposed to have stickers, but I thought it was, so let me just check real quick. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything before we start. Because like I said, this was a retired set. I didn't buy this directly from Lego itself. I mean, the push tabs were sealed when I pushed them in. You saw that. So I'm going to the parts list now just to make sure there's no sticker sheet. Yeah, alright. So this set actually doesn't have any stickers. Yay! I like when a Lego set doesn't have stickers. Looks like there's a... Looks like we are going to have a... What was I lost my what I was. So yeah, so there's that. So no sticker sheet, which means we can get right into the build. And like most Star Wars ships, this ship is mostly gray. You can't really get around that with Star Wars. So much gray in Lego Star Wars and in real Star Wars. But if they made everything colorful, then it wouldn't be screen accurate anymore, so I'll take it. I'm just checking one other thing while I have the Bricklinks open. Alright, okay, yeah, that's going to be a fun one. In addition to the Lego Star Wars we have in the stream queue, I do have several other Lego streams coming up as well. We have the fourth and final part of our weekly Animal Crossing series coming up this week. And then we'll see. We'll go from there. But we have, of course, the instruction book, which I will just set over here real quick, out of the way. And we will bring up the... I think it's cool that this is a set that doesn't have any stickers in it. Stickers can be a pain. Although I've done enough Lego sets that I'm getting pretty good at them. But I'm still not perfect. You can never be perfect with Lego stickers. Alright. The instructions are up on screen and we are ready to begin. But before I begin... Actually, no, we'll do that a bit later on in stream. There's the separator instructions page. And now it's telling us to open bag 1. And in bag 1, we get to build Darth Maul himself. Our first figure of the night. So we'll set the separator aside till we need it. I always keep one of your separators handy. If you're doing a smaller set that doesn't come with one, then pull one from your reserve. Always have it handy when you're doing a build session. You never know when you're going to need it. And most of the medium to bigger size sets have one. So we're going to start by building Maul. This will actually be the third Maul in my minifigure collection, because he's been appearing a lot recently. But he appears in different contexts each time in my collection, so it's cool having the different variants. I could almost build a whole army on Maul clones at this point. He's a one-man army himself. Have you seen the way he fights? Let me see here. I have to line up his headpiece because he's got all those fancy face tattoos. So here's the Maul figure. Let's see if we can get a close-up on those tattoos. It might not focus. Maul's always had one of the coolest, creepier looks. So there, you saw a close-up, and now here's a full body shot again. And now we can give him the lightsaber. I have an idea, and it's not going to look perfect. I just need to see if it's doable. No, my idea is not doable. I had an idea to maybe try and combine Because there's an extra lightsaber hilt. That's one of the pieces that often ends up in the spare bits pile, but um, it's not letting me combine them. Maul's actual lightsaber in the show, as you know, because it's double bladed, it's a lot longer than the average lightsaber. So what I was trying to do there was to see if I could combine uh, the hilt with the spare hilt and make a more accurate representation. But I don't. It doesn't look like I can do that. So unless, what if I? And if this works, then this would be cool. That worked. It's not totally accurate in appearance, but by combining the stud and the little other piece, I was able to make him an extra long lightsaber like he actually uses, using spare bits. Well, pieces that I know are going to be spare bits. And if it turns out I'm wrong about them being spare bits, well, then I'll just take this apart and then I'll go in after stream to fix it for my collection. So now I just got to get him to hold it. So now you can see the extra long lightsaber I made for. Wow, it's almost as tall as he is as a figure. That's a cool innovation I just came up with. And when we sit him down to watch the build, we can use the lightsaber as a third leg. It's too long for him to sit holding that end, so we'll make him hold this end instead. Wow, that thing is long. Almost too long for him. It looks silly now. But silliness is kind of a thing that Lego company is known for, so it's not too far out of character for the Lego version of Darth Maul. Anyway, so the next step, the next inset picture shows us his speeder, so let's go ahead and get that built up. I'm not going to put him on the speeder right away. We're going to do that closer to the end of stream. Wow. We're 20 minutes in, and so far we're just now starting to build. I can talk a lot when I get excited about something. Didn't go on the floor. Bounced out of my hand, but did not go to the floor. If I can get those two little pieces in metallic, I know the studs come in metallic. If I can find one of those in my spare bits bag, or even just in gray, I can make that double-bladed lightsaber look a little bit better. But the fact that I figured out how to do that at all is just cool enough in its own right. Interesting. Okay, and then it shows us building 3 of these little droids. He's got 3 of his probe droids with him. Oh, before I forget, here's the speeder. Quick little build. I'll set that over here. And we will... Here's what the probe droids look like. And I'll set these over here with the speeder. And now I need to just build 2 more of those droids. And then we can start with the build proper. There's a lot of really cool retired Lego Star Wars ships that I'm going to want to start getting in on once I get caught up with my wish list at Lego itself. Alright, we just need 1 more little probe droid here. These probe droids are more like equipment than characters. Unlike some droids, these droids aren't fully developed character-wise. So that's why I have them off to the side in kind of the equipment area and not in the character area. I know it's a kind of an arbitrary distinction. They're droids and droids are droids, but... Bag 2. Now it looks like Bag 2 is going to start with some Technic framework to set up the inner skeleton of the ship. Many Lego vehicles often start with a little bit of a Technic foundation to kind of create a sturdy structure, interior structure, that the rest of the ship and the actual detailed bits can be built up around. Technic skeletons also support action features. I don't know what that would be on this ship, but we'll find out as we build. That was not supposed to happen. I don't know what happened there. Just, my fingers just slipped. You have to be extra careful when you're doing Technic stuff. Because if you mess up Technic stuff, it's hard to fix. Okay, this one goes here. Okay, so now we get this. And this. Okay, so the framework, our Technic frame here, is starting to take shape. Now it looks like we just gotta build up the other side a little bit. Now, when they were picking the 7 characters for the exclusive anniversary figs, the Lego Star Wars team picked characters that they knew situationally were popular, well-known characters who would not have come up in situations and ships and scenes that they were likely to make. So they wanted to give those characters a chance to appear as minifigures when they otherwise would not have had that opportunity. Which is cool. They even included one Legends character who's not in canon anymore. because he was popular back when Legends was canon. So they did include one legacy character, which I thought was really cool of them to do. So that's not the character in this set. Saw Gerrera, as we know, is appears in Rogue One and Andor, so he does have a pretty major canon role. Saw Gerrera. So it'd be cool to see him at the end of the stream. Oh, I'm knocking into these probe droids. Okay, that's on. And I see the shooter bricks in this parts pile. Not the missiles themselves. We probably won't get those till the end of the build. But I do see the missile launch tubes. And I see we have our first spammer of the night. And the spammer is banned. Okay. Okay, that's on. And now we do another assembly. Okay. All right, that goes there. plugs in here. All right, these go here. And that goes there. And this will go on here. And we have, it looks like a printed console piece. So here's the printed console piece. We've seen this before. One of the generic flight consoles prints that we see across many Lego sets. Actually, I'm not sure I've seen this specific one before, but it looks familiar. There's only so many ways you can do a console, so. Already we can start to see elements of the ship's distinctive shape. Obviously nothing that looks like the ship itself yet, but we can see the shape is starting to come together. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be a ramp. So it looks like we're plating up the bottom of the ship now to fill in its shape. So here's one of the missile launch tubes. Obviously, we have not unbagged the missiles yet. And it looks like here's the other tube right next to it. Okay, so those purple bits from earlier look like they're going to be part of the launch mechanism for the missiles, because that's where the missile tubes are. And we have a boarding ramp. Let's keep going with the build now. Functional parts of the ship are starting to be recognizable for what they are, but we still got a long way to go before the ship itself is recognizable. Still, the basic shape is here. And now it says to go on to bag 3. Bag 3 will start by giving us Qui-Gon. And it looks like from the picture, Qui-Gon comes with his poncho that he uses on Tatooine. Yeah, there's one of those little paper boxes that they put fabric minifigure parts in. Yep, there it is. So let's start. So Qui-Gon begins with fairly standard, generic Jedi legs and torso like that. We're about to cover that. That's why I'm showing that off before I put his head on. But that's what the legs and torso piece look like for Qui-Gon. Fairly standard, generic Jedi robes there. Then we're going to open up this little paper packet and take out his poncho. Why is there 2 pieces here? Hold on. Oh, you know what? I need to hold on to this paper packet because it also contains Saw Gerrera's cape. I didn't even realize he had a cape from the picture. So let me go ahead and close this back up and set it aside till we're doing the Saw Gerrera figure. And meanwhile, we can go ahead and put Qui-Gon's poncho on. And this is a really soft fabric. Softer than the ones I'm used to. Let me try and crease it a little bit better because it's not staying down and it's going to make the minifigure look awkward. Smiley face or concerned face? Well, considering that he's about to fight a Sith Lord, we'll give him the concerned face. And since we're giving him the accessories, we may as well also give him the lightsaber before I show him off. I'm still having issues getting the poncho to stay down. Let me crease it a little more. Now with the fabric that Lego has traditionally used, it would have stayed down a lot easier by this point. And it's still not staying down. Oh well. I have an idea that should hold it in place, at least for sitting. But let's go ahead and put his lightsaber together. Qui-Gon, of course, has a green lightsaber. Qui-Gon was actually one of the... what's the word I'm looking for? When I was doing my lightsaber at Savvy's, Qui-Gon was one of the characters that I took inspiration from when building my first lightsaber. So there's Qui-Gon with his accessories. And let me actually, if I move the lightsaber into a little bit of an action pose, it will hold the cape down, the poncho, in a... And it looks like his hair is also doing a bit to hold the top end of the poncho, so it should settle over time. But there's Qui-Gon. And even though he's Maul's rival, they get to sit next to each other and watch the build, because when we do Lego, all the figures get to watch the build. Usually I put the bad guys on one side and the good guys on the other side. We could theoretically still do that, but since this build is all bad guy ship, let's just keep going. They're just figures watching a build. There. There's a couple pink pieces in this parts pile. That reminds me of something I read about. The Lego Star Wars designers have a tradition where they hide a pink piece inside. They try to hide a pink piece inside every ship, because pink is generally not relevant to Star Wars. Although there is one well-known pink astromech, QTKT, who was one of the 7 anniversary figures. We actually got that set. We did that set back before it retired. And at the time, it was the only one of the sets I had with the anniversary figures. The one set that hasn't retired yet with the anniversary figure that is on my list to get over the summer. So we will still be seeing at least one more of the anniversary figures on this channel. A couple of the sets I'm not interested in, but I may still pick up the figures secondhand and add them to my collection off stream. And then there's a couple sets that I might get or I might not, depending on how things go. But 2 of those have already started inflation, so I might not be able to get those last few characters. Alright, we have a 2x build, but it's only a very simple one-page 2x build, so... Alright. Now we're going back to the bottom of the ship again. And some shaping for the bottom of the ship, it looks like. Okay. And now we're going back to the top of the ship. Wow. They probably should have had us do this plate as an assembly on the slopes and then attach it. Like that. That's how the instructions meant for it to be done. So now we're really getting the shape of the ship now, but still a lot of bulk needs to be added and shaping. The general outline, though, has come together. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, I see. All right, so we've definitely got the distinctive shape of the ship coming together now. It says that's supposed to be a black piece, but all I have in my parts pile is this gray one. Did I swap a gray for a black earlier? Give me a moment. Oh yeah, that's definitely the black version of the piece. Let me go back to where that kind of piece appeared before and see if I put in a gray by mistake. No, it doesn't look like. Oh yeah, I see where the mistake is. Okay, so I did put in a black plate where I was supposed to put in a gray plate. Looks like it'll be an easy fix to make. There we go. I'm glad I caught that. Okay, but we also have this big square plate. I definitely missed that somewhere. Okay, that just goes on the bottom. It fills in right there. Okay. Alright. We got through that bag. You can see the classic shape of villain type Star Wars ships there. We're going to go back ahead now to bag 4. You can see the distinctive wedge shape that so many Star Wars villain ships are based around. Oh, we got even some more hidden pink bricks now. Or I should say plates. So now it looks like we're going to start bulking up and layering up the ship. Basically building up the ship's vertical profile now that we've established the shape. Where's the other one? There. Alright, and then these pieces go here. And actually, these are a better color. Give me a moment. We can fix that lightsaber, since these are a different color. Except, no, we can't. Because these are the closed top studs, not the open top studs. So we're not going to worry about that right now. This one goes here. The ramp is still not secure. Oh, I see. All right, let's keep going. You know, for a ship with so little screen time, this is one of the more aesthetically pleasing ships that, in terms of design. Yes, very aggressive and evil looking, but also beautiful. In my opinion, at least. We're supposed to use it shows the darker one of that. Oh, there it is. This is the piece I'm supposed to use there. All right, those go there. Oh, these pieces fell off the bottom. Okay. Oh, I see. All right. Okay, where's the other? There it is. All right. Sorry, when I stop talking, that just means I'm focusing on the build and also temporarily ran out of stuff to talk about, so it's okay. It means the build's going a little more efficiently than it would be if we were having conversation. But I'll think of something to talk about soon. Okay, so it looks like this goes here. Okay, so this is going to be the trigger mechanism, it looks like, for the missiles. The missiles will feed into the launchers down here, and then the backs of the missiles are going to come onto this little pink ramp, the pink ramp we did, and they're going to push these triggers up. And then with the missiles in place, these triggers will be in an up position, and then we can press down to actually fire the missiles. Obviously, I'll have to test them when the missiles come out of the bag, but after that, most likely the missiles will not be loaded again. Alright. The ship really is coming together pretty quickly, which is a good thing. This wasn't meant to be a long stream tonight. We've been building for about an hour. We're at the approximate, just over the hour 20 mark, but I spent a lot of time talking at the beginning. So the actual building we've been doing for just about over an hour, and we're already halfway done with the ship, or more. Let's see, based on page count, we're more than halfway done with the ship. Alright, so we got some gears, it looks like. Landing gear. Just trying to see how they attach here. Oh, cool, they're retractable. So you can... Oh, I know why they're there. It's because the back end of the ship is it goes deeper than the body of the ship, so they're there so that the ship can rest even once we add the rest of it, the back section here. But yeah, these fold up. These landing gears are designed to fold up into the base of the ship like this for flight mode. That's a clever design feature, actually. Bag 5 will give us our final regular character for the scene, but not our final character for the set. So here we're going to get Kid Anakin. And Kid Anakin is a character who's appeared a few times across the LEGO Star Wars history. He was in 2 different sets in the first wave. The pod race set, and I think he was an option in the Naboo fighter as well. Concerned face or happy face. Since I'm not likely to actually display him with this ship, I'll just give him the happy face that Kid Anakin was known for. He has the short legs, the ones that don't bend for sitting. Because remember, he was a short kid. Obviously, when he got older and became a Jedi, he grew taller. And then when he became an evil cyborg, when Palpatine rebuilt him with the armor, he became even taller than that. So, but as a kid, he was pretty short. Can we get a bit closer? Will the camera focus? Well, it tried. There's Kid Anakin. We'll stand next to Qui-Gon and hope he doesn't fall. Alright. Let's keep going with the build now. So now it looks like we're filling up the detail for the middle section of the ship here, where the ramp is. And I'm guessing that's going to be the probe droid release area. The ramp is still not secure on the bottom, though. So that's middle section right now is still useless for actually holding things. So I'm guessing this bag's going to be the shaping. One of the bags is going to be the back section, and one of the bags is going to be the wings. Because there's only 2 more bags after this one. It looks like this one is still doing detail work. Where's the other tile that I need? Alright, where's the other piece? Alright, that goes there. Okay, maybe we're building up the back section now, actually. We'll see how everything expands out. This ship is a cool mix of both shades of gray. Some of the ships, they just pick one gray or the other, but because this ship is a mix of both, it gives it a little bit of a better look, a more exciting and less boring look than just plain one gray. Even though they're both gray, the two different shades give it a nice contrast look. Or complement. How would you call it? I don't know the words to use, but I like that it's using both grays instead of just one. I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's a cool way they did this bit of shaping here. I think there's a part missing from my parts pile. I think. I'm gonna check the bag because I think there's something missing in that pile here. It's not in there. Do I have another situation where I used a light gray when I was supposed to use a dark gray? Yes, I do. Okay. I'm trying to take the piece out without having to disassemble the whole thing, but obviously that's not possible. That's twice I did a color error on this build inadvertently. Okay then, but how was this piece then? So that's gonna go back in there, but oh no, that's the piece I was actively working on. Okay. We got there. We found the bit I was missing, so let's get this bit reattached and we will continue on with the build. That's twice in one build where I inadvertently swapped colors. That's one of the downsides of having both of the grays working together, although they're distinctly different in the instructions. So I should not have made that mistake. Twice I should not have made that mistake. Actually, the first time it was a black piece that I swapped for, so it wasn't even confusing two different shades of the same color. I did something wrong here, obviously. That's me. See, I distracted myself so much talking about the last mistake that I made another mistake. Alright, where's this other light gray plate? Oh, I put it on already. Okay. So now when I come here, now that lines up correctly. And now I can put these other bits on. Alright, let's do these. You know what? We've been going almost 2 hours. When we finish this parts pile, before we go into bag 6, we're going to take a little bit of a stretching break. I know we're close enough to the end of the build that in most in most events I would say let's just push through, but I need to stretch, so we will take a short break when we finish this parts pile before we start bag 6. I will say the ship is coming together really nicely now. It's actually recognizable, even though there's still some bits that are not quite on it yet. Okay, hinges. I wonder what the hinges are going to be used for. Okay, let's put this facing the same way relative to me that the instructions are. All right, that's together. And that goes there. Now we got to do another one of those for the other side. Okay. So the piloting area and the wings around it still need to be built up. We'll be doing those sections, I guess, when we come back from break in the last two bags. I'll go ahead and leave this on screen so you can see what we've done so far. You can see how unique the shape. You can see how pleasing the shape of the ship is, and aggressive. You can tell that it's a villain ship just by its shape. But as far as villain ships go, it's kind of a pretty one, but still very aggressive. You see this coming, you know you're probably dead. Anyway, let's take a very quick break, and then we'll come back, we'll finish the ship, and yeah, this is a fun preview stream for Star Wars Week coming up next week. We get some droids. Big part of Star Wars is droids. big part of Star Wars is lightsabers. We get those too. And a really cool ship. Another big part of Star Wars. We didn't really do aliens. I mean, Darth Maul is technically an alien. He is from a... What was he called? I have to look up what he was, but his species... They're mostly humanoid, but they have horns on their head. But in terms of aliens that actually look alien, uh, we kind of missed on this count, but that's okay because we'll have some of those coming next week. But we got lightsabers, we got droids, we got a cool ship. So we hit most of what matters in Star Wars. And we still have 2 bags to go before the ship is done. I'm gonna... turn off the instructions. And we will go into a real quick break. And I'll center the ship so you can see what we've done so far. And I'll just get this ready. I can see a really cool printed piece in this bag. Alright, I'll be back in a couple minutes and we will continue. Sorry, that was a much longer break than I was anticipating. I went up. Sorry, that was a much longer break than I was anticipating. I went up to get a water cup and got asked for a little bit of favors, but that's okay. We're back now. Let's bring the instructions back up and get right back into bag 6. So let's keep going with the build now. Looks like we're going back to the underside of the ship. Let's use the correct pieces. Okay, there should be a little bracket piece there. No, there it is. Wait a minute. This thing looks like it's meant to slide like that. Okay. And then it's this other piece here that secures it into place, I guess. Okay. Let's just see what that does here. But I think what we just did is build a trigger mechanism for the ramp. Okay, so what I thought was a ramp looks like it's actually a bomb bay or weapon release. You could also stage it as a boarding ramp, I guess. You put it in landing mode and open the ramp. So with these bits in place, the back end of the ship is going to be not level with the front end on the bottom. And that's the point of the landing gears that we attached earlier. So as soon as it tells us to flip them, as soon as it tells us to flip the ship back over to work on the top side, I'm going to pull the landing gears out into position. So that we have a nice, steady, even surface to work with. Quick little 2x here. Okay, those are ready to attach here. There we go. That side's in. Now let me do... Lego designers don't always take the time to make the underside of a ship look nice, but this time it looks like they did. I appreciate. They've covered over all the structural bits that were visible on the inside. But yeah, it looks like we're building up the back section here now. Okay. Hey, Utgad, did I say that correctly? We got a chatter. Welcome to the stream. This is not my first Lego Star Wars set, but it is my first Lego Star Wars set in the new house and for the year. I have 2 big Lego Star Wars streams planned for Star Wars Week and a whole bunch of other content as well. So we hope to see you there as well. I'd say I have about a dozen ships in my Star Wars fleet. What am I doing here? This piece. My biggest Star Wars ship is the Dark Falcon. I see, it's a little seating area. And from the clips, non-standard way of doing a canopy, but clean. Functional given the shape of the ship would make a standard canopy unwieldy. So yeah, it does show that it's time to pull the landing gears out, so let's do that. And then we also get 2 little brackets that need to go on here. And now we go back topside. And Anakin got knocked over again. I do like that the gears give the illusion, depending on how you angle them, of the ship being down at an angle. I kind of like that better for the ship, I think, to have it slightly down. Gives it a slightly more aggressive looking profile. Okay, these go here. Um, so this goes on these clips down here. Oh, I see, and it closes up in the back like that. And then we put this one here. And then I guess these all close together like that. So yeah, I see how he sits inside and then the rest of the back closes around him. We're almost done with bag 6 and then we can go into bag 7 and finish the ship. This piece goes here. And that goes here. So these 4 pieces will close around him to close up the canopy back there. And then we just have this plate and this tile that go on to this segment here. I've also noticed that that little trapdoor isn't falling down anymore, which is a good thing. It's more secure now. So this goes here, and that rests against there, closing that angle. And then I'm not going to put him inside right now because then you won't be able to see him. But so it looks like we just close these bits back up like that. And that closes up the back neatly like that. I'll show that to you again. There are these 4 bits that open up. You have his little seating area inside there where Maul can sit and pilot the ship from. And once he's sitting inside, you can close up all these bits here. And it closes up the back of the ship and makes it look nice and solid and complete. I wonder, can I get an even more aggressive angle? No, it doesn't go any farther. That's still nice. I do like the subtle slope downwards. And then now we're going to go into bag 7 to finish the ship. As you can see, most of the body of the ship is together. Bag 7, I do see the missiles in bag 7. I'm guessing bag 7 is going to be the wings. Okay. Last bag of the build. And we'll start with our bonus anniversary figure, Saw Gerrera. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the torso, because the torso is going to get covered with both a cape and a bit of armor. So that's what the body looks like without all the accessories. You can see he has one hand in skin color and then his one robotic arm. Now it shows the armor piece going on. And then the cape goes on over the armor. So let's go back into our little packet here and pull out his cape. The cape goes in over the armor piece. And then we put his head on. We have a choice between concerned expression or angry expression. Saw Gerrera really only has concerned and angry. He doesn't really have happy thoughts. So we'll just leave him in angry mode. And we give him his hair. And the cape doesn't want to stay down. The armor piece is, of course, holding it. But here's Saw Gerrera. Pretty cool one-off character there. And it shows that he's supposed to get his staff. He gets a staff weapon. Or a cane. Well, I think he uses it as both a cane and a weapon. And he doesn't need to sit. He gets the anniversary figure platform, including this really nice printed tile. All 7 anniversary figures came with one of these. It says 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. And there are 7 characters that came with one of these little stands. The stand also comes with an extra plate for attaching the stands together for a display. I'm just going to stick that inside the stand for now, since we don't need it. And actually, the way the armor pushes his cape out, it looks like his cape is blowing in the wind. So there's Saw Gerrera on his little display stand. Let's take a few quick moments and enjoy the figure. That's what his cape looks like on the back. And now let's get back and finish the build. So we'll sit him there. And now we have a 2x build. So we basically, with 2x's, we build the whole page, and then we build the whole page again, and then we turn the page. We do every copy of whatever the X is before turning the page, and that way we don't have to keep going back and forth in the instructions, building one and then going back to build it again. So there's one. And now I just have to do that again. Alright, there's two. And now, so we'll do all of this page. The roller skate piece is an interesting choice for greebling. Now let's come back and do all those steps on this one. Let's see, did I secure? Yeah, both those pins are secure. Okay, and so these are ready to be attached onto the model. Okay, those bits are now on. And I have a 2x build here. again, because it's a 2X. Okay, so it shows this corner and this corner over here. So basically opposite corners. And then we're going to do the same thing in mirror to build the other two wings. All right. Okay. Let's just finish up this other wing. And then all that's left in my parts pile is 2 spare bits and some missiles. Let's attach these last 2 wings. And then the last few pages of the instructions will show us the play features. We'll go ahead and toss these into here. Again, you can open the back canopy so Maul can sit down inside and pilot the ship. There's also clips up here to hold his lightsaber. Alright, this is showing how to use the missiles. So we'll set the spare one aside. And I'll put the missiles into the holes one time. And I'm going to put my hand in front of it while we test it. And if we... So the missiles are loaded for testing in the front of the ship there. There, now you can see them. And if I set this down, yeah, it shows if we press on that area from before, the missiles will shoot out. Again, that's how you trigger them. And if you press the missiles in, those will reload. But I'm going to unload them for now. I generally keep my missiles unloaded. But I always do a test fire when building. So yeah, that shows the canopy. We did that. Although, alright, that's interesting. I didn't realize that part of it. So, you open it up. And then you actually put the speeder in, and Darth Maul pilots from the speeder. Interesting. So there's speeder storage. Again, before I pack that away. Quick close-up on the speeder. So you put Darth Maul onto the speeder, and then you put the speeder in, and this becomes his pilot seat. Or you can have him sit in the seat normally, if you don't want to use that for storage. So you got choices with this, but it's cool that it gives you speeder storage. And then here it shows the probe droids being loaded into the central chamber here. So I'm just going to drop them in. Okay, so the probe droids are like Jango Fett's bombs in the Slave One they did, the Playscale Slave One. There was a little actuator to release the bombs from a trapdoor under the ship. So you'll push this out. You're supposed to be able to push this bit out. And then that's not how it's supposed to work. I just yeeted a plate across the floor. Did I build that section incorrectly? Okay, so the floor was in too tightly, I guess. So if I put that back there, yeah, so the floor was just in too tightly. There's a little thing here that holds the floor in place. And when I pull it out, the floor is supposed to drop out. So yeah, if I push the floor, it goes out, but I'm trying to fix the mechanism so it works. So yeah. Trying to make sure everything works on this thing. You're supposed to be able to release this bit And that's supposed to make the door fall down automatically. I think I fixed it. Let's try this again. So loading up the probe droids in the central portion there. And I'm going to go under the ship, pull the actuator, and yeah, we fixed it. Okay, good. Yeah, it was just in a little too tightly. That's all that was. So I'll reload the probe droids. They don't have to watch anymore. And because Star Wars Week only comes around once a year, although most days are Star Wars days for me, but because Star Wars Week is a special occasion, the preview should also be a special occasion. Let's do a bonus minifigure. Let me also get this off the stage, because we're not just going to do a bonus minifigure, we're going to do a bonus set. Preview there, but let me turn the instructions off for a minute. Before we get into the bonus set, though, I am going to do a bonus minifigure. I got this little minifigure packet featuring a Mandalorian Night Owl. I have a collection of Mandalorian minifigures starting up as part of my Lego Star Wars minifigures collection. I have 8 different ones so far. I have the 4. And actually, we're adding 2 Mandalorians to my Lego figure collection, because I already have the original Mandalorian Battle Pack figure here. So, this came out in a Battle Pack many years ago. There were 4 copies of this blue and gray one. And it was I think it was called the Death Watch Battle Pack or something like that. And there were 4 of these guys. These were back in the days when every trooper figure had the angry clone face. Even trooper type characters that were not clones got the angry clone face back then. Now every trooper has a different face. And even the clone troopers, they have different expressions and stuff. But there's the original Mandalorian trooper from many years ago. I got this secondhand, so there's no blaster or anything. I'm sure I can find a blaster in my spare bits bag. And in addition to that Mandalorian, we have the Mandalorian Night Owl pack. And this one, I think, this one is supposed to come with a blaster. Well, because Anakin has the kid legs, he has trouble standing. So I'm just going to move him up to Saw Gerrera's display stand like that. I hope Saw doesn't mind sharing with a kid. So let's open up this Night Owl pack. So there we go. 2 bonus Mandalorian trooper figures for the Star Wars minifigure collection. 1 trooper and 1 night owl. And this one gets the jetpack and just a plain black head. Another thing they did with troopers when they didn't do the angry clone head is they just did a solid black head under the helmet. That was before they started printing individualized faces for each one. You know what? Let's make this Mando a lefty. And the Night Owls. Let's go ahead. We need the antenna for this one, according to the picture. It comes with a bunch of clone helmet accessories that are not necessary. We just need the one, so. And then we'll get into our bonus set. So this attaches to the head like this. Oh, that's cool. Here's Mandalorian Night Owl. And this one also has a jetpack. Actually, both these Mando figs have a jetpack. Pretty cool bonus fig there. And now we can get into the bonus set. It's one of the juniorized 4+ sets. The build doesn't really look that great from the box art, but I got a great price on it, and it's got an Ewok in it. And I don't have any Ewok minifigures in my Lego collection yet, so this will be my first Ewok, and that's really the reason I went for this on auction. Oh, and it still has a Walmart clearance sticker on it for $24. So this was actually being clearanced for $24. I bought this at the same auction I bought the Sith Infiltrator. I bought this set for, I think my winning bid was like $16 or $17. So yeah, I even got a better price than the sticker clearance price there. But as you can see, it's a 4+ set. That means there's not going to be any stickers. That also means that even though there's a tiny number of pieces comparable to a battle pack, it will also have 2 instruction books, even though there's less than 100 pieces. So yeah, not a lot going on with instruction. Not a lot going on with the builds here, but you get 3 separate builds with this and 3 figures. You get the Ewok, which, like I said, is the whole reason I bought this. And then you also get a scout trooper with a speeder, as seen in Return of the Jedi, and this really goofy looking juniorized ATST build with an ATST driver. But I don't have nearly enough Imperial figures in my Lego minifigure collection, so it's great to get two more Imperials, and of course the Ewok, which will be the first Ewok in my Lego collection. We've been on the front of the box long enough. And then the back of the box. The back of the box is a bit simpler than they usually do these boxes, because it specifically calls out the fact that, hey, it's a 4+ set. Learn to build. So we're going to see a lot of bigger pieces. We're going to see a bunch of bigger pieces and simpler builds. There's not going to be anything fancy with the build techniques in this one. We'll breeze through this one really quickly. I'm going to punch it open. Get it open here. Oh yeah, I can see looking in the top of the box. This piece was sitting in the top of the box. Look at how big and chunky that piece is. Yeah. This looks like it's going to be like a quarter of the ATST right there in this one piece. 4+ does that, of course, with the juniorized builds. But the other thing that 4+ does is no stickers. So at least we have that. So 2 bags, of course, each corresponding to one of the instruction books. The reason this build, being as small as it is split into 2 instruction books, is because it's a 4+, meaning kids are learning how to build, and it's a build together type situation. So it's meant that the kid will build one of these books, and then their parent will build the other one, and they can sit together and build together. That's the whole point of when they do multiple instruction books like this. So it looks like bag 1 is the ATST itself, and then bag 2 is going to be the tree stump and the speeder. So I'm going to set these over here with the other instructions. And we will get right into the bag one. And I will pull the instructions back up so that we can... Let's make sure the instructions are fully on screen. And like I said, this is going to be really easy. We're going to breeze through these. We'll leave out our brick separator. And you'll notice with the 4+ instructions, it's going to add like 1 piece per step. We're going to... You'll see how quickly we fly through the pages. It says 56 pages, which is way more than... Oh, wow. Look at these oversimplified legs here. I don't normally get 4+ sets, but this isn't actually my first LEGO Star Wars 4+. I have a 4+ X-Wing. It came with a Poe and BB-8. Okay, so it's really only about 20 pages of instructions because it's going to have these hands pictures, which shows us everything we need to grab for each step. I forgot that the 4+ does this oversimplified thing. So this is the 4+ version of those little parts boxes you see at the top corner of each step. Except here, they do a whole page drawing the pieces in the kids' hands. So we're going to start by putting our ATST driver together. And we have a choice between happy smile, he's happy, or he's angry. Well, considering that they're in battle with the Ewoks right now, let's give him the angry face. And then he gets his helmet and a blaster. So there's our ATST driver, our first of 2 Imperials tonight. He even gets a little blaster. And he will sit with the characters. And let's begin the build. So it says we need this and we need this. And yes, I am going to do the hands pages because I need to know what to pull for each step. Or I can just internalize it. Yeah, we'll speed faster if I don't take too much time on the... It's juniorized. It should be obvious what I need to pull each step. We're not going to take too much time on the hands pages. I do like the sand blue accent here. And we do have this printed tile for the top hatch. There's the printed tile there. This is the piece that they use for the minifigure, the CMF display stands. It's always cool to see it when used in builds. And there's the blaster caps. Wait, which piece was that? Yeah. So there's the blasters for the front of the ATST there. You see how quickly this is going together. And yes, I am planning to get some fancier ATSTs for the actual collection. And then, of of course, the side blasters that the AT-STs had. You can see how quickly we're breezing through this because this is a 4+. But 4+ sets are not without merit. They're great for teaching kids how to do Lego. And the X-Wing I did, the build wasn't half bad looking. So here's the head section of the AT-ST. Nothing too special, but functional enough, serves its purpose for being a 4+. And actually, it does look better than some of the old models before the fancy build techniques. It's not too far off from some of the early 2000s style models where the build techniques were much simpler back then. So it's a 4+ sets are a comparable level of detail to that. Wow, one-piece legs, that's really silly there. It's cute for what it is, though. It may be oversimplified, but it's oversimplified in kind of a chibi caricature cute way, so not too terrible going on here. Oh, nice. Mud-splattered feet. Taking the environment into account with a set, that's cool. Where was the pin? Oh yeah, that's where the pin was, okay. Okay, so now it shows us putting the feet onto the walker like that. Alright, so the AT-ST is all ready together. And then it shows you can pull off this top section. You pull off the top section and you can just stand up the driver inside. Like this. There's not even anything of an interior in there. You just push the driver inside and then you push him all the way inside. And if you push him down far enough, then you can put the top back on like that. And if you look closely, you can actually see him. It's not going to come out on camera because it's dark in there once the top is on. But when I pull the top off, you can see he's sitting inside. You can see him through the window. But there's no interior there. They didn't decorate it with controls or anything like they would on a normal model. It's a 4+. It's enough that he can go inside it to drive it. So the AT-ST is done. Let's take a quick look. The first AT-ST, but not the first walker in my Lego collection. I'm planning to get some of the fancier AT-STs soon, though. So, alright, and that does it for that instruction book. Let's pull up the second instruction book. And I do have some other Lego Star Wars sets. sitting off to my side, but they're for next week when we do Lego Star Wars Week for real. So I'm not going to be doing any more bonus builds. We are done for the night when we finish this instruction book and this parts pile. So first we're going to put the Scout Trooper together. And it looks like this... Alright, so it looks like this is a more recent set. This is from an era where all the troopers have different faces under the helmets. But this will be a pretty standard Imperial Scout Trooper. He only gets one face, so we have to give him that. I can't really call him happy because they're in battle, but he's smiling. So I'll say this is confident action hero style. Confident action hero smile. And then we will, of course, give him his helmet and his blaster. And you know what? I made the driver a lefty. Let's make this guy go back to being standard righty. He is in trooper ranks after all. And the Empire likes them all to be a non-individual. So there's our Scout Trooper, ready for battle. And we will sit him next to the driver. And then we will begin building. Which piece was that? Yeah, okay. So, no sticker sheets tonight. 2 sets, no sticker sheets. I always like not having to do stickers. And there's that Pentagon tile that I always like. Personally, I think the hands thing is a bit silly, but it's a good teaching mechanism for little kids, and this is a 4+. I do like that Lego's leaning into getting kids involved. So much of Lego recently has been about the adult collections and the adult collectors. It's always cool when they do something for the kids. Okay, so our little speeder is done. Technically our second speeder of the night. And now we can do the Ewok. And the box does say that this Ewok specifically is Wicket. Wicket is the Ewok who discovered Leia and became friends, and Wicket is the reason that the Ewoks joined the Rebels. So, well, Wicket is a big part of the reason why the Ewoks decided to help the Rebels. Let me use the space plate real quick to to show you the minifigure before I attach the bow. So there's my first Ewok. My first Lego Ewok. Joining some other cool aliens that I already have in my Lego Star Wars collection. Oh wow, it's just about 11 o'clock. But we'll be done with this in a few minutes. Alright, so now he's holding his bow and ready to fight back from the trees. And he will go and wait with the other characters. Okay, we have these big, huge tree trunk pieces. Usually with trees, you brick build the whole thing. But again, 4+. And when some sales charge you $17 for one minifigure, it's always cool getting bonus figures and builds for the price of one minifigure. So I am going to go ahead and say that this was a pretty good buy, even if the builds are a little unsatisfying from a... and they don't look too terrible, given the cartoonified chibi aesthetic that the juniors go for. I've seen adult-oriented sets that look worse, so I think they did pretty okay with this one. Okay, looks like the Ewok also has a little catapult to work with. I am not going to test this, because then we'll lose these little catapult ammo pieces. But there's a little catapult down there at the base of the tree. And it comes with these 3 blocks to use as ammo. I'm just going to stack them back. Well, I can't stack them right there because the tree gets in the way, but I'll stack them on this opposite corner here. And now we just passed the 3-hour mark of stream. If you count the talk time at the beginning of stream and the break, we've been building for just under 3 hours. And we just finished the little tree that the Ewok is supposed to stand in. So, there's our little tree build. And we are, I think, yeah. Oh, here's some advertisement. Oh, this is a more recent set. Still retired, though. I see the droid from Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order. I see the Inquisitor ship. The Inquisitor shuttle, that's definitely on my list of retired sets I want to get. I see the Bad Batch Justifier. I think it's called the Justifier, that big ship. Probably not getting that one. I see the set we just did. The big ATTE. There's a... I'm not sure what that ship is. And then, okay, the Darth Vader duel. That set was controversial. And here's a more in-depth view of the ATT and the Mace Windu clone tank. I want to get the Mace Windu clone tank. But I like those purple troopers. And here we can see Obi-Wan Starfighter. That one is actually still being sold. And it comes with a Camino in. So yeah, sometimes it's cool to look at the advertisements, but let's turn that off. And let's see, who do we have available to raid tonight? Oh. Not a lot of musicians tonight. It looks like several musicians that I follow are on tonight, but not doing music. And it's my tradition to raid into music. Let me pull this back a bit. And let's figure out who we're going to raid so I can type it out before I have to stick my hand, before I have to set up the scene. And it becomes hard to do so. So we're going to raid. We're going to attempt to raid. Do we want to? Have we tried raiding there before? We're gonna attempt to raid Mandy Prater tonight, but I think sometimes she blocks raids. I think we tried to raid her before, so we will try. And if we fail, we're not going to actually start the raid though until I set our exit scene, so you have some stuff to look at here while we process out. The missiles can go off camera. Brick separator can go with the spares now. Obviously, we want to bring the Sith Infiltrator back. And before we continue, let's just take a moment and admire that ship for a little bit. One of the more distinctive looking ships in the Star Wars fleet. I like it. Oh, and I didn't show this off before, but when you fly it, you can open up these wings. They open up for flight mode like that. Obviously, when you do that, you want to fold back the gears for flight mode like this. And with the gears up and the wings in flight mode, I guess there's one question we need to answer as a LEGO Star Wars fan and a LEGO spaceship fan. Is it swooshable? I would say yes. It's not terribly heavy. You can grip it easily in one hand. It feels very sturdy. There's several safe feeling places to grip it. I would say definitely it is swooshable. Let's bring the gears back out now and put it back into landing mode. And before we go, I'm not going to show off the missiles again, but let's see. Do I have the door working correctly now? I do. And I even, okay, so I got the door working correctly. We're going to drop 2 of these probe droids back inside for now. And we'll leave one for the figure review. We'll open up the back real quick and pull out the speeder so we can have everything we built tonight in front of us for the exit scene. And I'll just close that back up. So the Sith Infiltrator will be parked back here in front of the tree. Oh, I'm mixing up Tatooine and Endor, aren't I? This is going to make no sense. So Darth Maul's little speeder and the little speeder bike and the AT-AT can just remain on display. A little probe droid, there's 3 of them in the set, but I can't be bothered to set them all up right now. And yeah, a nice assortment of vehicles for tonight. 2 little speeders, an AT-ST, juniorized as it is. It actually doesn't look half bad. I think they did pretty well given what they had to work with to make it kid-friendly. Although, let me see. It's hard to give it a good pose given the legs are fixed. There's no joint in the legs, but you can rotate the head. And you can put the driver inside, so at least it's got that going for it. And I do like the mud-printed feet there. I don't know if I properly showed that on camera. But yeah, cute little AT-ST. Big, intimidating Sith Infiltrator. 2 little speeder bikes, Darth Maul's speeder, and the classic Return of the Jedi Endor Scout Trooper speeder. Let's go through our figures real quick. I guess I'll put them at various points in the scene. Here's Darth Maul. And we'll put him on the ship like he's about to... Let me actually just bring everyone back here real quick. Now this setup is going to make no sense because, like I said, we're combining scenes here. We'll have Qui-Gon. Here's Qui-Gon again. And he will go here. Right now, Darth Maul's got... I forgot to show off Darth Maul. There is Darth Maul. Did I show off Darth Maul? I mean, it's his ship after all. And Qui-Gon will have running from... And here's Kid Anakin. Let's have him trying to steal the speeder. Yeah, that's it. That'll be cute. Anakin's trying... I don't know if I can make him do that because of the... He can't get into a sitting pose. Yeah, no. I can't have him actually go on the speeder. But we'll show him trying to steal it like that. We have, of course, our little 25 years of Lego Star Wars stand. We'll put that in the front as kind of a little display plaque. We have Saw Gerrera. And we'll have him sneaking up the ship. He knows Maul's a bad guy, and we'll have him trying to sneak up behind Maul to fight him, I guess. We have our Mandalorian Death Watch Trooper. No weapon. Since he doesn't have a weapon, let's have him trying to fight his way into the AT-ST. And here's the Mandalorian Night Owl. And the Night Owl will be working with Saw Gerrera, also trying to sneak up and fight Maul. Like I said, this makes no sense, this character arrangement I'm setting up here. The Scout Trooper, we'll just put on the speeder bike. There's one arrangement that does make sense. And there's one thing that actually does look like it's supposed to. And we'll have them here, leading the ATST. Meanwhile, the ATST driver, he's climbing out of the ATST in an attempt to escape the Mandalorian, who is trying to get in. Oh, the Mandalorian has a jetpack. So what we're actually going to do is... Can I... No, that won't work. We're going to... The ATST is climbing out to get a better view of the battlefield. The driver. For the Mandalorian, we're going to have them... Oh, I see how I can set up a flight pose. Give me one moment. I can make a little flight pose to accommodate the fact that the Mandalorian here has a jetpack. So we're going to just set up this bar on the back of the tree like this. And it'll make it look like the Mandalorian Night Owl. No, this is the Mandalorian Death Watch. The one without a weapon, so he needs other ways to fight. So he'll be flying in on his jetpack behind the tree like that. And that just leaves Wicket the Ewok. And Wicket the Ewok will be standing in his tree, ready to fire arrows at all the bad guys. So that's, oh. And little probe droid. Maul's little probe droid will be, I guess, over here, watching the scene from the center of the ship. So Qui-Gon's trying to run away from this ship. And it doesn't look like... Oh, that's a reverse stud. I don't really have a place to put the probe droid then, where it's not going to fall. I thought there, but the studs are making it unbalanced. The probe droid will just watch the action from the corner. It's lost. It doesn't know what to do. Alright, so we've just set the scene. It's now about 3 hours exactly since we started building. There was a break in there, so... But this was a nice build for tonight. I know my spread makes no sense. Wicket, Mandalorian Death Watch on jetpack. Kid Anakin Skywalker with Darth Maul's speeder. Darth Maul. Mandalorian Night Owl sneaking up behind Darth Maul. Qui-Gon Jinn trying to run away from Darth Maul. Saw Gerrera also trying to sneak up behind Darth Maul. Scout Trooper on the speeder bike, leading the ATST driver who climbed out to get a better view of the battlefield. And a little probe droid who's confused and doesn't know what's going on. So, nice little sampling here of LEGO Star Wars. I'll be back with 2 big LEGO Star Wars streams and a bunch of other Star Wars content for... I'll be running pretty much the entirety of Star Wars week if all goes according to plan. But you know, on this channel, things don't always go according to plan, so I hope to do all those programs. We'll see what happens. Have a good night. Let's attempt to raid. Actually, I know Mandy Prater sometimes blocks raids, and it looks like Issa just signed on, so we're actually going to raid Issa tonight, because I know that's a good raid that isn't going to get blocked. So we're going to raid Issa Sings. I think you'll enjoy the music there. And have a good night, and I will see you soon. Hopefully later this week. I mean, well, definitely later this week. Tuesday for sure, because we have the final segment of Lego Animal Crossing this week. We're going to be doing part 4 of 4 on that. And then, I don't know what else we're doing this week. And then next week, of course, Lego Star Wars. And not Lego Star... And Star Wars not Lego as well. Star Wars week. We'll be celebrating it big on this channel, hopefully. Have a good night. Let's raid Issa. And I will see you soon. Raid Issa. And I will see you soon. And may the Force be with you. And may the Force be with you. And may the Force be with you.
Like a little bit like free. Guys, look at my elbow. You can tell. Can you see that it's red? Well, it's because I was in the floor recording those different shots that we did. Look at my elbow. The floor was concrete, you know. So yes, I was working hard. You get this. They kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I mean for you when you say you were nervous, Kai.